What's going on YouTube? It's Raka, and looks like Whoopi Goldberg has brought some unwanted attention to herself yet again. So I'm gonna react to a video best I can, then show some clips and a story that she was a little bit in hot water for a few years back. All links will be in the description, and yeah, let's begin. So let us react to Whoopi Goldberg plays the victim and cries discrimination. It backfires immediately. All right, let's begin.
We've seen a lot of leftist celebrities try to play the victim, but this next story might just take the cake. Literally, Whoopi Goldberg has found herself in some hot water after accusing a Staten
One more time, she finds herself in hot water again.
Island bakery of discriminating against her for her race, gender, and politics, I guess. But she's received instant karma because that Staten Island bakery is now speaking up and they're telling a different story. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
And when it comes down to it, just people are tired of being bullied. That's what it really is.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, we are bringing Whoopi Goldberg back into the fold because she's created a little bit of controversy for herself. She apparently was looking to get some cakes from a Staten Island bakery, a specific cake that she really enjoys, and she wanted it for her birthday. Now, when she called into this bakery, the order could not be filled. And instead of understanding that, Whoopi Goldberg jumped to the conclusion that the bakery was discriminating against her. Let's hear the story from her.
I should tell you, Charlotte Russe has no
Also, best acting comes from the person sitting right next to her. Don't know who that is, but you see what I mean.
political leanings. And the place that made these refused to make them for me.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
what?
Oh my goodness! That acting! Jesus Christ.
They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
Yeah.
Wow.
Automatically, the person who jumps to any form of bad idea immediately goes to it's politics. Now, they just said that the place doesn't do any form of politic choosing or anything like that. Especially if it's Staten Island. It's going to be one of those places where it's going to be very level because it is a business before anything else. And they're going to want your money before anything else. But of course, she automatically jumps to, they don't like me. Can't be because of this. Can't be because of that. What's left on the checkerboard? Oh, my politics. Yes, that's always going to be something stupid like that. Especially coming from Whoopi, who has a tendency of jumping the gun on things with her radical ideas.
Oh my goodness. Can we get a replay of that girl spitting out the cake? How dramatic do you have to be? Swallow the food that's in your mouth.
I've seen better acting from plays than that.
You don't have to play this role as if you are an ally to Whoopi Goldberg and you couldn't possibly swallow the cake that you've literally been chewing in your mouth because of this.
Also, I can believe that they had issues with their ovens. I remember when I was in Texas and I had a part-time job at a Sam's Club. I worked in the cafe area. And day before Super Bowl, not going to say which one, but day before Super Bowl, our oven went. So we had so many people complain about us not having a working oven for their pizza orders. Because that place, oh my God, sold probably more pizzas than Pizza Hut and Domino's combined in a day. That's how crazy that place was. So it'd be me, the manager, taking so much flack for just, well, I'm sorry, sir, the ovens are not working. I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't get you your 4 pizzas because the ovens aren't working. We're waiting for somebody to come fix the ovens. So I can believe that. I really honestly can believe that.
disgusting story that you just heard. Now, of course, Whoopi Goldberg has jumped to some conclusions here, right? Apparently somebody called in, and I imagine Whoopi Goldberg herself didn't call in. She probably had an assistant or someone lower in the hierarchy call the bakery to order these cakes for her birthday. And maybe they said, these are going to be for Whoopi Goldberg. Can we put Whoopi's name on it? Can we put a picture of her? Whatever the case may be. And the bakery told her, we cannot fulfill this order at this time. Now, Whoopi Goldberg was
also, think of it like this. Why would a place be like, oh, no, we're gonna refuse your service, when they could have this as a check on them? Like, we just made these delicious birthday cupcakes for a celebrity, Whoopi Goldberg. There are still some people that find this person as a very good celebrity to them, as a favorite. Not my favorite. I was more into Patrick Swayze and Ghost than her. But that's beside the point. It's just, you would want that fame, you'd want that publicity, like, oh, here, we just made these cupcakes for Whoopi Goldberg. But if the ovens aren't working, it's like, oh crap, we can't fill this order for Whoopi Goldberg. Well, what are we gonna do? But it's just jumping the gun, of course, like always.
Also aware that the bakery let this person know that it was due to some sort of error in the machinery that they had going on in the bakery. And instead of running with that story, Whoopi Goldberg decided to make it about herself, the narcissist that she is, and says that, you know, it can't possibly be because I'm a woman.
That's a Hollywood person for you. I'm not going to say names on a lot of Hollywood figures, but this is one of them who thinks that they're so up there on the chain that everybody that's below them is this a peasant slave. That's pretty much what they are. Like, you are beneath me, you will do what I say.
So it must be because I'm Whoopi. And I gotta say, these are some pretty bold moves. First, to even jump to that conclusion in the first place. But secondly, to go on a show that is viewed by millions of people nationwide and essentially accuse them of political discrimination. But this is what leftists do. I know, because I used to do it. If anything is not going your way, you can immediately attribute it to some sort of microaggression, racism, political discrimination, because it couldn't possibly be anything logical.
I mean, if you think about it like this, when you're young and you don't know better, you don't understand the way things are, and if your parents don't teach you properly and the schools don't teach you properly and you don't learn things properly, you could interpret anything. Automatically could interpret anything. Like my race, automatically like, oh, I have a stereotype in my race. I'll eventually tell you guys what my stereotype is, because that's what it was. I was bullied badly in school, so yeah, that's another story right there.
It has to be something that fits within your worldview, and that's what Whoopi Goldberg has done here. And Whoopi Goldberg might just learn a lesson here, because it seems like Staten Island has brought together the entire bakery, the entire borough, matter of fact, to respond to her and say, we were not.
You have to understand, a community, if they know what you are, and they see this outsider wants to destroy your community, you're going to defend the community. The people are going to come out and they're going to be like, you know, like knights with their shields, warriors with their swords. They're going to defend their own. And she doesn't care. She just figures, I'm Whoopi Goldberg. I'm going to cancel you because you didn't treat me like a queen.
Not discriminating against you, girl. We had a machine breakdown. Let's watch.
Screw you.
I think one simple message is you don't mess with Staten Island. And they're not going anywhere, despite what other people on television have to say.
Exactly the type of attitude and elitist mentality that the American people rejected resoundingly on Tuesday. By the way, what's Whoopi Goldberg doing here anyway? Didn't she say she was going to move if Trump won? We'll buy her some cupcakes for the flight. Thank you all. God bless.
Yeah, these celebrities say they're going to leave. They're not going to leave. They have houses everywhere, but they're not going to leave. Because you know what? They love the attention. No matter what the situation is, they love getting the attention. I really think she was hoping that for her birthday, she would get attention, positive and negative, just so she could make herself relevant. And she made herself very relevant.
You don't mess with Staten Island.
Oh my gosh. And of course, even the bakery owner responded to this, and I think we should listen to her words, because there's a lot sort of hanging in the balance here, and I don't think we truly understand this. Whoopi Goldberg certainly doesn't understand this.
Here's the thing. a lot of places went under during COVID. The horrible event that people had to experience and go through. Places went under because they couldn't open and they lost too much money and everything. This place has been open for over 140 years. 145 years it's been open. These people have sacrificed. They wake up every morning. They make sure the things are all set up so that way the people could come in for their coffee. The people could come in for their snacks, their treats. And a person doesn't care. They're threatening what exists. A long time play. Just think of it. 140 years. Okay? That's wild. And it survived that pandemic. And it's going to survive this. And from what I found out, what I've read, they're doing so much better. So you know what? Thank you very much, Whoopi Goldberg. Because of your thought process and your quick to judgment and quick to act, you brought more popularity to a place. So eventually, if I ever go there, I'm not a pastry eater, but eventually, whenever I have a chance, I'm going to go there and I'm going to take a picture of whatever they have on display, and I will get myself something and I will taste it. So thank you very much, Whoopi.
When you call out a bakery and essentially weaponize your audience into looking into this bakery, protesting them, calling them out, berating them with phone calls, that's exactly what people are going to do. And luckily, they got ahead of this. They came out and said, yo, this story is not true. Let's give you the facts here. And they've actually got a ton of support on the other end of this, much to Whoopi Goldberg's chagrin, probably. Now let's hear from the bakery owner.
It's killing her. You know it is.
It's a community that I have to tell you, I'm so overwhelmed by the support between finding out yesterday this even happened, getting phone calls, and then people coming in, people from all over just supporting us in every way. We had phone calls yesterday from Alabama. Guy says, I'm going to give you $50, send it to a school, send them donuts, send them cupcakes. The support has been so overwhelming, and I know how hard.
Whoopi Goldberg tried to cancel a place that's been open for over 140 years. And she thought, probably for like a moment, that she's about to lose something that's so old, something that means the world to her. She thought she was probably about to lose that. That's a horrible thing to think. But then to see all these wonderfully beautiful people, doesn't matter what side you're on, doesn't matter what your belief is. It's the fact that she sees all these beautiful people come together to offer their support, however way, by monetary or just verbal. Just to offer their support means so much. And you could tell this person is very moved. And it shows the human spirit and what it needs to be. And it shows how people need to be there for each other during any time, during this cancel culture that still exists. It's a good thing to see that there are still people that are willing to stick up for each other and be there for each other. That means a lot.
My family has worked to keep this business alive, and I wish my father was here today to see this. He would never believe it. My bakers come in 2 or 3 in the morning just to have donuts and rolls for everybody to come in and say, we have the best rolls ever. And you know what? It took my whole family. It takes everybody, the community that comes every day to see us. We have this everyday conversation with everybody. How's the family? How's this? This is what makes Holtemans. It's the community. It's my fellow everything that come out, and us giving back to the community that makes this go round. And if it wasn't for you and Staten Island to make this work, we still wouldn't be here today.
And just a little background for those who know, there was...
That makes me just you could tell the positive vibes that are in her, the pride that she has right now, and she deserves it. She seriously deserves it.
They had a boiler here. Again, it's been here 145 years. They had a boiler that was 60 or 70 years old. And the first week in November, guess what? It went on the fritz. They had to be replaced. And the reputation of Halterman's is impeccable, so rather than commit to something they couldn't guarantee, they say we can't do it. And the person who besmirched and defamed them took that as an insult to her. Well, get over it.
See, there you go. A much more logical explanation as to why they could not.
Like I said, before the Super Bowl, we had an oven that decided just to not work. Here's the worst part. That when I worked there, that oven had a broken glass door, so the heat would always come out because it was always like 90% closed but a little bit open, and it was always a constant hothouse in there. It was bad enough baking the pizzas and all that stuff, but the heat that came from it, if you wore anything more than shorts or something, you would be dying from the heat. So I can understand. This place here, they like their equipment. They use their equipment. They don't want to switch out to something more modern and everything. You know what? When it's like when you use your own frying pan, your own skillet, your own wok. After you've used it, it has that feel, that texture that makes it easier to use. So that's what the situation is with her. Is this? She has her things. I'm pretty sure she's modernized it since the original times, but it crapped out. Things break. Nothing is unbreakable. Things happen.
Not fulfill the order. Sometimes you call in and something's going wrong and they say, right now we can't take your order, and then you call back a little later and they're able to fulfill it, which seems to be exactly what happened with Whoopi Goldberg, and which is why she had the cakes on the show in the first place. But instead of leaning into her...
I mean, yeah, she still had the cakes. She still had them. She just had to make it more about, it's my day. This is my day.
Logic, she leaned into her delusion and her own view of reality that constantly sets her in the place of being a victim, despite the fact that she is literally an elite. She is Whoopi Goldberg. And it seems like the bakery might be revving up for a little bit of a legal battle with Whoopi Goldberg, as I'm sure they have documentation of when the boiler went out and what orders were and were not taken.
Because here's the worst part. It's been a few days. I mean, this literally happened the day before my father's birthday, so I didn't even know about this right away. But she still hasn't apologized. She doubled down, but she hasn't apologized yet. You know, a place like them would probably take a real apology. And if she would have said something like, I misjudged, I'm sorry, they probably wouldn't be so mad at her. People wouldn't be so mad at her, and they'd be like, you know what, you humbled yourself a little bit, and there you go. But no, she did not apologize yet.
In that time, so she better watch her back. But she has decided to respond in a 1-minute clip that she posted on Instagram. Let's hear what she has to say.
So there seems to be a lot
double down right here
about the dessert I requested for my birthday show. I never mentioned the name of the bakery or the location. It does seem a little odd that when we called a few weeks before my birthday and we were told they couldn't process the order for my birthday because of an equipment failure. Okay. And somehow they were able to accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name. But it's all okay, y'all, because I enjoyed my delicious dessert and I had a happy, sweet birthday.
Yeah, now she's trying to throw that negative attention off her, making it seem a little bit like it's not fazing her. But this is the kind of person that wouldn't acknowledge a certain person's election win. This is a certain person that went on a tangent at an audience member. This is a certain person that got angry at one of her own co-hosts. I mean, when she thinks she's right, she's a stubborn mule.
Nothing better than that.
Wow. You can still tell that she feels like she's on the right side of this conflict. She even expresses it in the way she said, and I still had my delicious dessert on my birthday. Yep. She's almost saying, F you, I know you didn't want me to have those cakes, and I still got them anyway. She is sitting in the narrative that she created for herself, which is just mind-blowing to me.
And again, most businesses, to make money, they're not going to throw away, because that's not, you seen from the few seconds, that was not like 5 or 6 little cupcakes. That was enough for like probably all those women like 2, 3, 4 times, okay? If Whoopi Goldberg doesn't eat like 20 herself. But still, that was a lot. It's not like it was a simple little order. And that...
Whoopi, let's use our logic. If you called at a time when the machines weren't working, and then you called later when they were, it makes sense that they could now fulfill the order.
Exactly.
Now, you might be able to jump to conclusions about political discrimination, but it doesn't sound like you're correct here. And if the bakery is coming out in full force and telling you you're wrong and saying you defamed them, I imagine they have documentation to prove exactly what it is you're saying.
They can go after her for trying to destroy a business. A business in today's day and age and culture, just trying to cancel can put so much bad shit in the flow. Could send that tidal wave of destruction pretty much. So she tried to do that. She tried to send a shitstorm over to this poor person and their poor livelihood. And you know what? I'm pretty sure they have the documents. They have the receipts. So you know what? This lawyer, whichever one they're going to get, is probably going to be seeing this as a simple slam dunk for money for the client. And Whoopi Goldberg is definitely saying she's worth it. We'll get to that very shortly.
Is false. And it's interesting that she's saying, oh, I didn't mention the bakery, I didn't tell people where I got these from, but she did mention that it's the only place that makes the specific dessert that she was looking for. So I imagine anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together could go ahead and figure out where the bakery is and who they are. So it seems like she hasn't learned her lesson this far, but maybe she'll learn it legally when a lawyer has to sit across the table from her and explain what defamation is, and explain that she can't go on a TV show that's viewed by millions of people and make the
and watch her be like, oh, this country's racist. This country's this. It's full of evil man. We'll get to that little line there also. I pulled a couple of her best moments.
These vivid, wild accusations against somebody simply because you didn't get what you wanted when you wanted it. But I know exactly where Whoopi is at in her mind. When I shared this mindset with her, I had very similar reactions to people. Although I didn't come at them like this, I would just keep it in my head internally on a constant loop, thinking that some sort of microaggression or outright discriminatory action was taken against me. When I was little and white kids used to say, I've never seen hair like yours, can I touch your hair? I would interpret that as racism. If any comment was made about my skin color or my culture, I would interpret that as racism. When I got
that's exactly what I was referring to earlier. If you're hold on.
Got an off
let's fix
off look.
That's a better position for her to be in. If you're not aware, because you could be young, you could be like a child, you don't understand certain things. It's not so much a racism thing, it's just you don't have the proper knowledge to it. And like I said, when I was in school, I used to be bullied a lot because of my heritage and what I am, my skin color, not being Hispanic or anything like that. Automatically you jump to that because of my skin color, but I'm not Hispanic. But it's people just, they don't understand. And and if you don't understand that they don't understand, you're automatically going to assume the worst case scenario into people. That's just fortunately the way the world has become. Children are innocent, they don't know, and sometimes that innocence can be a blessing. When you grow up and you don't know, you just automatically assume the world is just shitting on you in one way or another. But she's making a good point. She's not aware.
Or somebody didn't treat me right. I interpreted that as racism, even though in many of those instances, nothing was going on. What was really happening was that I had a preset narrative in my mind, and I was waiting for my external experiences to support the preset narrative. And that's what Whoopi Goldberg is doing. Every single time she is met with a conflict, or somebody that doesn't like her, or somebody who criticizes her, she goes back to her preset narrative and says, well, it must be because I'm a woman.
It must be because I'm black.
It must be because I'm on The View and I'm a leftist. And you can watch in the initial video as she says, well, it can't possibly be because I'm a woman, which means she was trying to lean on that first, realized that logically she couldn't, and then had to go on to her next victim card when it came to this bakery. I mean, for some context, we all know that The View is really freaking out with the election and everything that's happening right now. So if I'm going to armchair psychoanalyze...
Yeah, The View is having its own special little meltdown right now. Very special meltdown. And some content creators I like to watch when I have a free moment from work, they've definitely been covering it, and they're still covering it. And I'm, you know what? I'm like that Michael Jackson meme. I'm just sitting in the theater with my popcorn. Maybe I should make an asset for myself of eating popcorn. That actually probably be good. I gotta get in touch with my artist later. Anyway, let's keep going.
As Whoopi Goldberg, maybe she's in a heightened state of paranoia because of everything she's heard surrounding this election. She truly believes because Trump is going to be president that this is going to up the level of hate crimes and discrimination against leftists and black people and women. And maybe she's just now painting a broad brush over all of her experiences because that's already where her mind is at. But that's going to get you in trouble, especially when you're her and you go on a show like The View and you start telling those stories before you have confirmation of what actually happened. So Whoopi, I hope you had a happy birthday with some delicious desserts, but not everything is about you.
Amen right there. You know what? She's 69 years old, first of all. Nice. Second of all, that's a big thing, 69. All right? So that's a good thing. If that's her age, then okay, but whatever the situation is. Happy birthday to her on that part right there. But please, be a better human being in this situation. Don't learn. Please, just don't be like that. Don't learn bad. Learn better.
People are leading their own lives. They're dealing with their own problems, their own struggles. And maybe what we shouldn't do is create more problems and struggles for those people because we are obsessed with our idea of victimhood and we are narcissistic in the pursuit of finding these victimhood moments in our lives. Yeah. And as far as the Holtzman's Bakery, I'm sorry that they had to go through this conflict, but it seems like they're going to be just okay on the other end of this.
They're winning
seems
right
like
now.
The people
they're
of Staten
definitely
Island
winning in this situation here. They got the attention that's going to help them big time.
So the line is out the door.
Look at this. Just look. They got lines now. They're not suffering. If anything, this is a plus.
But guys, those are just my thoughts on this story. Drop your thoughts in the comments
down below. This makes me happy,
As always, I encourage healthy debate, so if you disagree with anything said in this video, duke it out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification button.
Please, everybody, make sure you follow this person. Make sure you sub to them. They are very level, a very well-spoken person in all their videos. And whenever they pop up, I usually like to watch them when I can. Sometimes I'll let like one or two build up before I watch them. I'll binge watch if I have to. But definitely, I'm going to put a link to her channel and this video in the description. But now let's move on to the... Also, sorry for the eye close part.
Notified every single...
There we go. Now let's move on to another video. This one here is Whoopi Goldberg is having a hard time financially. And like I said, all the links and everything... Oh my god, that face. Everything will be in the description, so I'm not like one of those like... I'm just reacting and I'm not going to give any props because these people who do these videos are a hell of a lot better than I am. And I'm just a simple person watching them and giving my input on them. Anyway, let's go to this part right here. It's a very short video, but this gives you a little idea who is Whoopi Goldberg. This is the kind of person she is. And this video here kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Hey y'all, listen up because Whoopi Goldberg has everyone talking and, well, you're not going to believe what she just said on The View.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too. Yeah. I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person. You know?
Whoopi, the woman who's been in the business for decades, went on live TV to say she's feeling the financial squeeze just like the rest of us.
Oh my god. Oh, she's feeling the financial squeeze. Oh my goodness. Also, that's a very bad frame I paused it
Yes, you heard that right. Whoopi, with her millions, is claiming she works for a living and can't afford to stop working. Does that sound a little out of touch to anyone else? So here's what went down.
The woman is out of touch. She doesn't realize what she was when she was a young child growing up. Yeah, she got lucky. She became a movie star. She became a super movie star. She had a lot of hit movies and she was wanted by everybody. But today's day and age, all right, like what I'm doing right now, this is a hobby. I'm never going to want to take this or streaming into a career because I know I can never do that. Plain and simple. I can never do that. I work and I barely make $55,000 a year. It's hard work and it can be very emotionally taxing more than physically taxing. And I live by paycheck to paycheck. But this person here She has it harder than people. She has it harder than people that can't get jobs because they don't have the experience and everything. It really, really pisses me off. Oh shit, go here.
For decades, went on live TV to say she's feeling the financial squeeze just like the rest of us. Yes, you heard that right. Whoopi, with her millions, is claiming she works for a living and can't afford to stop working. Does that sound a little out of touch to anyone else? So here's what went down.
Kid.
The ladies of The View were talking about last week's presidential election and trying to figure out why so many working class voters sided with Donald Trump.
Remember, 51%, if I'm not mistaken, of women voted for Trump. That's what they wanted. That's what they got. It's your voice, your voice, your choice. Whoever you want, there you go. But that's what they want. And these women just, they can't comprehend that at all. That a person of what they want. Anyway, we'll keep on.
And Sarah Haynes, she's the one who voted for Kamala Harris, was trying to walk a mile in their shoes, trying to understand this mindset. But just as things started heating up, Whoopi jumped in with this relatable gem. I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here, okay? Now, here's the kicker. According to reports, Whoopi's net worth is a cool $30 million. $30 million. And her salary on The View is supposedly somewhere in the $5 to $6 million range. Not to mention, she was once Hollywood's highest paid.
Just think about that there for just a moment. That much money she makes, and she acts like she don't have the money at all. That just, it's like I said, some celebrities, they don't understand what people go through, and that's the proof right there.
Actress, thanks to Sister Act 2. But apparently, she's still struggling, folks. She even added that her kid and great-granddaughter depend on her.
And my kid has to feed her family. You know, and my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there.
It's got
you
me wondering
sure
how
about that?
hard are things really for her? And here's the tea. Whoopi's words are a little reminiscent of what her former co-host Meghan McCain said a while back. Meghan once ranted that the stars on The View needed to actually get in touch with the reality of folks who don't make six figures. At one meeting, she even yelled, "Some of you, or all of you, are gonna have to start interacting with people who don't make $100,000 a year." So what do you guys think?
They'll never interact with people like that, because you know what? People like that are below them. People like us, we're the ones that just, how the best way to say this without being like too much of a hater, it's like we're not worth the air that you breathe. That's pretty much my interpretation of this. It's like what we are, we can't compare. So you know what? Just listen. That's pretty much all I get from that. All right, so that's this video. Again, description will be, everything will be in the description. Now this one here is by a little clip by BenShapiro. Talk about Whoopi there for just a little bit. Now listen to this.
Whoopi Goldberg, she of the genius sort of sage presence on The View.
Thanks.
She's like, I'm not saying that maybe white people need to get beaten up for police reform to happen, but maybe white people need to get beaten up for police reform to happen.
But how many times do we need to see white people also get beaten before anybody will do anything?
Okay, so first of all, this is unbelievable.
See, that's the problem with people like that. They speak and they think that what they say is not going to have any form of consequences to people out there. That's the problem. She just speaks. She's got diarrhea of the mouth. That's what she has. That's what she's got right there. She just speaks without thinking.
Stupid.
Yep.
We've seen many, many cases of police brutality against white people. The Daniel Shaver killing of 2016, significantly worse than what we saw with Tyree Nichols. I mean, Tyree Nichols is really, really, really bad. Daniel Shaver is literally on the ground trying to comply with officers' orders, and they just murder him. So this notion that white people have never been the victims of police violence is absolute bullcrap. It is not true in the slightest. For Whoopi, just a reminder. Whoopi Goldberg believes that everything in life is racist except Hitler.
The Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race. What is it about?
Because she believes that when Hitler went after the Jews are white, so it was white on white crime, so it wasn't racism. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, you heard that right there. That she. I swear, if I would have said something like that in school, I think I would have been put on a stage and like, this is the dumbest person in the world. It's like that scene from, I think it's from Billy Madison, when he gives his answer, and the person said, what you just said has nothing to do with what was asked. Everybody here is now stupider because of what you said. May God have mercy on your soul. That's how I feel like at that moment right there with her. So here's a little bit more context of what he just said about that ending part.
This morning, Whoopi Goldberg under pressure.
And I'm getting, all of the mail from folks and the very real anger.
Trying to backtrack.
Of course it's anger. She took it as it's a man problem. Not what's this? What she's talking about is a very horrible event in mankind history. It's a very horrible thing. And she, again, diary of the mouth.
Back and apologize after making controversial comments Monday.
If you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
It happened during a debate on The View over the banning of Mouse, a graphic novel on the horrors of the Holocaust by a Tennessee school board.
It's not about race.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a book about rats and cats, where rats are pretty much the victims and the cats were of the horrible group in question. But listen, just listen to this moment right here.
It's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
But it's about white supremacy.
But these are two...
Man's inhumanity to man. Well, that's it. I mean, yeah, that exactly sums it up right there. God.
White groups of people.
The outcry was swift, with many pointing out the Nazis used racist propaganda during the Holocaust. The head of the Anti-Defamation League tweeting, the Holocaust was about the...
No, at Whoopi Goldberg, the hashtag Holocaust was about the Nazis' systematic annihilation of the Jewish people who they deemed to be an inferior race. They dehumanized them and used this racist propaganda to justify slaughtering 6 million Jews. The Holocaust is dangerous. Hashtag enough. Again, educated people.
Nazis' systematic annihilation of the Jewish people who they deemed to be an inferior race. Goldberg,
uneducated, and just speaks just to speak for attention. She went on today's show. I said the Holocaust is not about race, but about man's inhumanity to man. Oh, that just sounds so stupid. I should have said it's about both. As Jonathan Greenblatt from the Anti-Defamation League shared, the Holocaust was about the Nazi systematic annihilation of the Jewish people, who they deemed to be an inferior race. I stand corrected. The Jewish people around the world have always had my support and will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I caused. Written with the sincerest apologies of Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, Lord.
Taking to Twitter to explain. On today's show, I said that the Holocaust was not about race, but about man's inhumanity to man. I should have said it's about both. Adding, the Jewish people around the world have always had my support, and that will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I have caused. Later weighing in further during a Stephen Colbert appearance.
When you talk about being a racist,
I was saying, you can't call this racism. You couldn't tell who was Jewish. People were very angry, and they said, no, we are a race. And I understand. I understand. I felt differently. I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize.
But she'll fake apologize on other things, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but you could just go look up of all the shit she did. She at one time was defending Bill Cosby, a person who has a very bad past. She defended him and then took it back. But she'll make apologies and she doesn't want to take them back. But she took that back. That's just one of many things you can find out about her.
I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying.
Goldberg has a history of controversial moments, including defending Bill Cosby on The View, which she later retracted, now apologizing and saying she'll approach discussions around the Holocaust with more consideration.
I will work hard not to think that way again.
NBC News has reached out to Goldberg and The View, but we have not yet heard back. Guys, back to you.
All right, Miguel, thank you.
Well, that's all that I have right here. I'm just, like I said, this is a hobby of mine I want to try to get into. And I just want to make this content for you people. And if this kind of content was something that, you would like to enjoy and watch more as I try to improve and get better, please give it a like. Subscribe. Don't cost anything to subscribe on YouTube. And just... yeah, I hopefully will be doing more videos about more content, more stuff like that. It's not just going to be about this kind of stuff. It's going to be about the other side too, VTubing, anything that comes up. I'm going to try to be doing what I'm doing. I also do stream on Twitch for now, maybe YouTube and other things. But for now, Rocka XP on Twitch and Rocka XP on YouTube. So anyway, I'm rambling on for far too long, and thank you very much for being here and watching. Please give a like. That lets me know that this is actually reaching people. And like I said, I'll have the links to every single person in the description. And yeah, thank you very much. You all have a wonderful day, and remember, be better for each other. Don't be what's going on right now. It will get better. Just be better. Bye-bye for now.